Hey, Kelly, have you heard this new word, AI slop? I guess that's two words, but AI slop.
No, it's actually just slop. And yes,
Slop.
I saw it yesterday on the news.
What?
Yeah, apparently they're putting it in the Webster's dictionary as an actual term. It's a word.
Oy.
I know.
Should we talk about what it means?
Absolutely.
For those of you who don't know, AI slop is just when you're using AI to just create poorly written marketing language.
It's not marketing, it's just messaging, I think.
Messaging.
And so I think what it is, it's the lazy version of thought and messaging. And so I think AI can be such an amazing tool, and I use it all the time. But I think the key with it is to use your original thought and not lose that. Like, in my experience, AI will kind of sometimes go off on tangents, and I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, come back. That's not where I was going. That's not what I was thinking. So I think you have to be really intentional when using AI.
Especially when it comes to marketing. And as you know, our audience probably knows, I've done your marketing for 15 years now, and we absolutely use AI, but we've had to be careful about AI. And I wanted to just talk for a minute about some things that we see. The trick is to use AI without people knowing you're using AI, right?
Well, I think, stealth AI, maybe is that a thing?
Stealth AI. Oh, maybe that we could get that in the dictionary.
Yeah, for sure. Stealth AI. I think that it is leveraging it, but also not letting it be shown, or that it's a clear indicator that it's being used, if that matters, or if that makes sense. Like with the M dash, it drives me crazy because I don't know why. Somebody out there smarter than me can probably tell us why AI loves these M dashes, but we all seen it. And then what happens is we see that translate into specifically marketing material. And I'm very fortunate to also lead our marketing department here at Cornerstone. And I am constantly like, no M dashes, no M dashes. It's good that you guys are leveraging AI for thought and messaging and strategy and all the things, but it can't dictate the actual written word as far as the format. Like, because then it's clear that, like, then you're like, did you think that, Shay? Or did AI think that?
I know. See, and then it takes the authenticity out. In fact, there's a real estate agent that we know, that we follow on Facebook, and I like her so much. And she's actually very accomplished, very successful, and she does very well in social media, always has. She actually does speaking events, and she's a very articulate speaker. And she had a very interesting post because usually she shares her thoughts, and I'm interested in her thoughts. But I read a post of hers, and I literally counted out how many M dashes were in it. And there were 14 M dashes in her post. And it just made me think, is that really you? Like, is that really, like, it just felt so inauthentic.
Because it was a clear indicator that maybe it was her words and maybe it wasn't her words. And that's the issue with, there are some tendencies with AI that we can all be mindful of. I am always focused on this stuff, but I miss things. And we're really bringing this to you as real estate agents and loan originators to really kind of just be thoughtful. It's good to use it. It's an amazing technology platform. It is the now and the future, but being intentional with how we use it, and then how we take that messaging and put it into publicly shared types of messages, I think is key. Because when we're talking to somebody, we're not like, la 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 la, M dash, la 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 la, M dash. Like, we're just sharing our thoughts. And we want to do the same thing. We want that authenticity in the social media aspect or in messaging.
We want to use AI to leverage our time, but we still want it to be part of our original thought process. And that's another thing I have on my list here about where we see people going wrong with AI. And this even happened to me, actually, where I had hired a gal to do my social media, and I didn't get to review the caption before it went out. The caption, it had a little bit to do with the post, but like, again, it was full on AI slop. It was just like two big, huge paragraphs, not related to what the video was. And I didn't catch it until after it already
You have
gone
to
out.
babysit it. And when you are using a third party to help you execute your social media, it is so important that they're aligned with what your messaging is, what your thought is, that you're reviewing it. I think that, again, it's resourceful. It's helpful from a time standpoint, but it isn't always the answer, because it will go off on tangents. And you're like, what are you talking about? That is not
this was really bad. And I think that goes back to when it goes on tangents, it sounds not human. Like it might use words or phrase things that are not the way we would really talk. Like you were talking about cannot.
Oh yeah, if you've noticed, like it is a cannot, a do not. So little things, if you really start to study it, then you're gonna pick up on how it differentiates from how we either write or we speak. And those are the things that are kind of considered this slop. And I think it's just like this haphazard, like, oh, it's the answer. And it's just gonna do it all. Well, it will do a lot, but we do need to have framework and kind of guardrails around it, and making sure that we're paying attention to what it's saying. Statistically, it is not always right. I will tell you that. So we had a situation recently where somebody on the team used it and provided statistics, and those statistics were not accurate. So I think, again, just like you got to double check, you got to fact check. It will fact check for you and source for you, but you have to take that next level and make sure that, it is doing that. And then are those resources credible?
Right. And what I found too, when I'm looking for solutions to things, maybe it's an IT problem or something like that, that it will provide you with, I'll say, this is my problem. What are some solutions? And then it'll give me, maybe 3 or 4, but there are more. And I've actually had to go, none of those things worked. What else could I try? And it'll come back with 3 or 4 more. Like, well, you didn't give me all the choices to begin with. So it doesn't always give you the whole and accurate picture. And definitely statistics, got to be careful with those. But let's talk about how we're using AI. Like, how should we be using it, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, using it in your personal life, using it in your business life. I mean, I think there's different applications.
Right.
The way that I use it, I have a lot of thoughts. I write a lot. I present a lot. So I use it just as the expansion of my thought, really. They're all my original thoughts, though. It's not like I'm going in there blindly and saying, hey, create this. I don't want to lose my voice. And I think that is important to just me as a person. And I protect that. So I do use it all the time, every day, throughout the day. Because sometimes it's better than me when it comes to the phraseology. Sometimes like, oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And it can say it or do it in a different way that really lands. So, but not losing yourself through it, I think, is the real key.
Yeah, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll write an email. I'll just start writing the email in ChatGPT. And then I'll get to the end of it, and then I say refine. Yeah. And then it makes it sound more
still
eloquent.
Old school. I still started in Outlook, the email, write it, and then I'll copy it over to ChatGPT and say refine. I'm not there yet. See, old school, new school. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I think
the danger, though, is one time I did that, and I forgot to copy and paste it back into Outlook, and I thought I sent the email. So you got to be careful,
I think, let's talk about how it's being used in marketing.
Yes.
Because this group in particular is focused on building their personal brands, focused on marketing and messaging. So from your perspective, what does that look like today? How are applications being used? How is the video editing process being impacted by AI?
Well, I think using it to, if you're going to be doing video, how should I start this video? What's a hook? What would be engaging to my audience? Right? Getting ideas like that, doing the thing where we say refine. We write a Facebook post and then we refine it before it goes out, or shorten. Sometimes I can be very long-winded. Like, this is what I want to say, but make it shorter. So, but always making sure it's your original thought, just better. And also that you want your authenticity to still shine through AI. Now that we live in this AI world, you have the ability to make everything perfect.
Yeah.
I could be, 30 pounds thinner with AI. I mean, I could say everything perfect. I could have the video show up and do it, not even be me in the video. I could have AI write the script, but that's not, perfect is not what connects with people, it's authenticity. So now leveraging AI for workflow systems is really important, but you got to be really careful not to lose your authenticity, the essence of what is you, because that's what people connect with. Christo is a brand guy that we've known for a long time. I'm a huge fan of Christo. And I saw him on the podcast the other day, and he said, the easiest thing in the world is to just be yourself.
Sounds so easy.
Sounds easy. I don't know that I agree with him that it is easy, because I and other people I know find it difficult. Why do you think that is, Kelly?
Oh my gosh. I'm not a therapist.
No.
But having gone through this journey of starting to do video long ago and the mental demons, I think it's our own self-critic that is in part what talks us out of doing video in particular. But it could be talking us out of doing other things too, whether that's writing, presenting, public speaking, or, in my case, video in particular and public speaking. The mental demons, the story I was telling myself wasn't necessarily truthful, but it was holding me back because I was just so self-judgmental. Oh my God, I don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I do this with my hands, my eyes, whatever. Like the things that we see and notice when we see ourselves on video is not what most people see.
Right.
And I think that there's just that self part that if we can get past that, and you can, trust me, you can. It takes work, it takes intentionality, it takes just going for it, and I think our story, my story, a big reason why you see what you see now in social media is, especially in the video space, is because at some point I just had to decide, I'm going to do this because I felt so passionate about bringing information about the home buying process and how to leverage real estate, how to build wealth through real estate, and just home loan education. I was so passionate about it that passion was greater than my fear of doing video. And that's what I just tapped into. Every time I'd be like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that video. It's awful. I was awful, right? I would say these things. And then pretty soon I was just like, we're rolling with it.
Yeah. So. Well, people connect to real and people connect to authenticity. And I think it's really hard to sort of divorce ourselves from being the version of ourselves that we think people want. We think people want a certain person. And video is truly the best way to be authentic. But even just, I had a friend actually text me the other day, and she said, this real life story happened. I was going to post it on Facebook, but my massage therapist said, oh, don't do that. You'll sound like a ditz. And the story was absolutely hilarious. I think it's something that we could all relate to. She had dropped her earbuds in the water, and she put them in a bag of rice to get them dry out, and then she put it in her ear, and she got a kernel of rice stuck in her ear. Oh. And she has a hilarious story about going to the ER. It was so funny. And I said to her,
so relatable,
right? You're going to post that because that could have happened to any one of us. I mean, and it's just, it doesn't make you sound like a ditz. It makes you sound like a real person.
Right.
And it's funny. And so she took my advice and she posted it. Oh my gosh, she got so many comments, like dozens and dozens of comments. She got like more than 100 likes because she was just real and authentic. It was a true story that actually happened that she thought was funny. And I said, like, don't worry about people thinking you're a ditz. People are going to think that you're a real person, and they're going to like you better for that. Yeah. Instead of trying to be a perfect person who never has anything go wrong, who
Does that exist? Is that real?
I know. But so when we talk about Facebook, there's a reason why they call it fake book, right? Because so many of us, a lot of times, are trying to be this version on social media of what people think, what we think people want to see, and not who we really are.
Yeah. So let's get into some tactics, because I'm really interested to know from your perspective, with your years in the marketing space, what and how is AI being used to be able to help from marketing a marketing standpoint. So marketing execution, whether that is video editing apps, whether that's Canva, whether that is, some type of automated distribution email list. Like, how is it being used? Can we just talk about the top 3 ways that could be helpful to this audience?
Yeah, it's literally being used in every way.
Yeah.
It comes down to systems and automation. I'm really into scheduling tools right now. The idea of using AI as part of the marketing process or even the video process is to create efficiencies.
Yes.
And so for me, I think a critical element is having a scheduling platform. Because if you really want to be seen on social media and you want to take advantage of being on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and all the things, okay, you're going to spend nothing else but do that if you're posting to those manually. And so having a scheduling tool where you can create one post and push it out to many platforms, or even some of the scheduling tools where you can create one post and then it will, every platform that you choose, you could tweak it so that maybe it's not exactly the same. That's a really great way to create efficiency in your marketing and being able to leverage your time. I got to tell you one thing before we go. So in addition to doing your marketing all these years, I'm also a real estate agent. And I was doing a property video where I had just filmed the property and I didn't do any talking. I just filmed the property with all different rooms and all that kind of stuff. So I shot a video where I sat right in front of the camera and I said, check out this new property. And then as the video was going, I was talking about all of the features of the home. But it wasn't me talking. It sounded just like me, but it wasn't me. It was AI. I sent it to my mom, and she didn't know the difference.
Oh, my. Why wouldn't you just talk, though?
Because it's just so much. I had to type the script.
Oh,
so
it's
instead of typing the script and then filming it, and then if I mess up during the script, instead I just copied and pasted the script into this app, and it did it in my voice.
Wow.
So it's still authentically me. It's still authentically. You still hear Shay. My own mother did not know the difference of my voice, but it was so much quicker for me to just copy and paste.
Yeah.
Takes 1 minute, get that audio file, put it back into the video, and I'm done.
Yeah. So Shay, where do people go to kind of find, these resources?
They're going to go to the link in the description below because we've created it for you.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
We created it for you. We're giving you a list of our favorite AI tools, and it's a free download. So just click the link in the description below. And of course, if you have questions about that, you can put in the comments below or give us a call.
And in addition to that, if you're using something that maybe we haven't touched on and you're finding huge value in it, comment below because this is a community and we want to share information that's useful to other people.
Absolutely.
All right, cool.
All right.
Thanks, Shay.
All right.